Hi. So I often will try to be really strategic about what I'm going to say on the podcast and when certain episodes drop and, really wanting to help guide your experience through if you're listening kind of as we go. But today I am literally getting on here to tap into whatever's on my heart so that I can just speak from there without a script. I don't usually use scripts, but at least I do outlines. But without an outline, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about right now as I'm saying this to you, because a lot of things have been going on in the last little while. And so I think maybe I'll start with a bit of I don't know, a life update, a business update, what's really happening behind the scenes. And I think that's important because so much of what we see and consume from other people who we follow online and podcasts or however we're connected to other business owners or people who are looking to as leaders that we want to learn from is filtered, right? It's like what we say is like Instagram versus real life. What's going on, and there's no context as to what you see. And then we start comparing ourselves hard against what we think is happening in somebody else's life, which we don't even know whether or not that's true or whether or not that's the full picture. It most likely is not. And then we start doubting ourselves and we're letting our beliefs of other people's experience and success, etc., infuse and affect us when it doesn't need to. Sometimes I think what I'm saying is like a message that I need to deliver to myself, which is very much what that is right now. And we, ambitious women with goals who want to create amazing impact, who want to be able to serve and support people, and who really get excited about what happens when you deliver your work, when you create meaningful work in this world. And we have so many areas of our lives, right, that are meaningful to us. Motherhood, being a partner, being a friend, all the different roles that we might have as part of our lives. But what does the business do? Right. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately is like, what is the role of my business in my life? And what do I want that to look like? And how do I want to shift that maybe? Because I didn't create a business to be frustrated with it. I didn't create a business to make myself feel bad because I'm not hitting the goals that I have for myself. That is not the point. The point of creating a business, for me anyways, was to be able to have the freedom and the flexibility and the schedule. Like, really, if I think about it, that's one of the primary benefits to running a business is that the schedule flexibility. Because like tomorrow I have to drive to 3.5 hours away to go to a gymnastics competition. I've gone to 2 gymnastics competitions on Thursdays at 8 a.m. in places that are at least an hour away from my house. None of this is possible if I had to report for duty to a job somewhere else for someone else at a certain time. And I'm so over that. I'm not doing that anymore. And so I have to remind myself that this is why. This is why I want to be an entrepreneur. And I also want to be an entrepreneur because I want to be able to give to the people who I know can benefit from what I do. I want to be able to support with the strategy and the thinking and the creativity that is required to help you and instill you with the confidence that you need to put yourself out there to be able to do more of what you do. I truly believe that everybody has a gift that they are meant to share in this world. And in a lot of cases, that is very much possible that that gift can deliver, like directly become your business. And that's a beautiful thing. But if you get to wake up every day and share your gifts with the world and make an impact and help other people, then that is amazing. And you get to make money while doing it, and you get to create your own schedule while doing it. Like, yes, sign me up all day long, right? And so if you're in a position like I have been lately, feeling frustrated, even just not just frustrated, but unclear maybe about what you want to do next or how to go about what to do next, then that is exactly where you need to come back to is what makes me excited? Because I was in a room yesterday full of women business owners, and when the keynote speaker was up, she was giving a very engaging, like back and forth kind of conversational talk, which was awesome. And so many people are up there sharing about their imposter syndrome, and like they're afraid that they're not good enough at what they do. And we all experience this in cycles. It's cycles. And sometimes I feel like the more cycles you go through, the worse it comes back and hits you. Like at one point there was a panel conversation happening, and somebody was asking, like, what is the most important, like, what's the best advice that you could give to somebody else, to other business owners in this room? And I thought to myself, it's believe in yourself. And one of the panelists did say that, because truly you are the only one in charge of your energy and how you feel, and how you present yourself all comes from your own self-belief, and how you can internalize that and bring that forward and make that connection with other people. So believing in yourself, and reminder to myself, believe in yourself, because what you have created, what you're able to do is only for you. Like what you have created, what you have as a skill set, what your gifts are, what your secret sauce is only yours, because you are uniquely you. Your experience, regardless of however many people are out there doing the same thing that you do, how many coaches, how many people who are practitioners in your health and wellness space, how many people are delivering a similar service to you, it doesn't matter, because only you do what you do the way that you do it. And your story and your experience and your motivation and your heart for it, all of that is what makes it different, and what makes people want to be part of your space and want to be in your world and want to have that experience with you instead of somebody else. That is the competitive edge. That is what sets you apart from other people. That is my pep talk to you and to me and to everyone else who, at any time when you're feeling like in a rut about, well, I don't know what my goals are right now. I don't know what I should do next. I don't feel like I'm hitting it. And like also the reminder of everything takes time. So I was having this conversation, and it's going to be a podcast episode that comes out again in the next little while, about context, right? Like I started here talking to you about, what you see online and what you hear from people is not the full story. And so remember that, right? Unless somebody's actually giving you the full context, which is kind of what I'm trying to do right now, and say that regardless of, like, yes, I've been in business for over 6 years. I've worked with, all these clients. I've had thousands of people come through my digital products. I've grown an email list. I've grown a 6-figure business. I've done all of these things. And also I have times where I feel like WTF is the next thing. Like where am I right now? And so I take time. This is my theme for the year, is allowing. I'm allowing space. I'm allowing things to be more inspired and be more, coming from true like connection and intuition, rather than trying to follow what I think I should be doing, or also constantly seeking external resources to help me, and somebody else like reflect, somebody poke a hole in this, somebody else come in, somebody help me, somebody fix this. It's on me now. Like enough. It's enough. I'm enough. I'm enough to figure it out. I'm enough to move forward, and you're enough to create what you're meant to create. I don't know if this is like a rambly message, but I think that if you're listening to it and you're still here, you're like resonating with it. So I'm glad for that. I'm also really glad to just have this platform where I have the opportunity to reach out and connect with you in this way, and just share like a little bit more of the behind the scenes of what's going on. Like, I'm not saying that I'm sitting over here going, I suck and I'm a failure and I don't have anything and my business isn't doing what I want it to do. My business isn't doing what I want it to do right now, but also I'm happy. I've had like the best travel year of my life. I've been to Nashville and to Disneyland with my family. We're going to Europe this summer, like so many amazing vacations. And that is definitely a priority for me personally, is to spend time, as much time as possible, with my family and with my kids. And while we're all young and healthy and active, I heard a stat the other day about, it was from a study that was done about time. And this is really hard to even think of. By the time your kid is 12 years old, you've spent 70 or 75% of your time that you will with them. And by the time they're 18, it's 90%. Like you've spent 90% of the time that you will with your kid by the time they're 18. And like that makes sense because then maybe they're leaving and they don't live in your house anymore. And hours is hours of percentage of your life. Yeah, all of that. But it's a wake up call. And that is why I focus on vacations and fun and family time and doing all those things right now while I still want to, while we still can. And, as some of you know, the reason I started my business and went out on my own and stopped doing the corporate thing had a lot to do with the fact that I lost my mom in 2017. And I realized very clearly how time can disappear. It just ends. There's one day you wake up and what you wanted to do isn't even possible anymore because a person's not there or you just don't have the opportunity. So crying on the podcast. So I think what I'm trying to say is that whenever you might feel in a low self-esteem period, in a I'm not hitting my goals, and you're focused on all of the things that are not happening, remind yourself of why you're in this in the first place. What gets you out of bed in the morning? What makes you excited? What feels like success that's not just related to your financial goals? Because it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. And you can have a successful business without making six figures. Yeah. The fact that you get to even just spend time with your kids or volunteer on the school field trip or, go to a yoga class in the middle of the day instead of working, or wear your sweatpants to work, or commute to your basement office, or whatever it is that can feel successful to you. And I always need to remind myself of this because, like I said, it comes in cycles of, when you're feeling connected to that and you're feeling like empowered about that, then you're in a different energy. And that just leads to so many more good things. Like you're creating opportunities, you're putting yourself out there, you're attracting new clients and new business and new ways of growth versus when you're in this, like when you're in a negative space, which we get into, it's the opposite, right? It doesn't attract it. You're less likely to put yourself out there. You don't want to show up on social media. You don't want to show up in person. You don't want to put on real pants or a real bra that day. And then you start kind of like feeling like in that rut. So maybe if you're connecting with this, do what I'm going to do after I hit the end button on this recording and go to your journal or your notebook or go for a walk if you like to voice memo yourself about why you're already successful regardless of whether or not you've hit the goals that you set for yourself, because there is something to be said about, and I've talked to a lot of quote successful, financially successful anyways, people out there. And I always am asking about this balance between ambition and presence. So how do you set goals and have a drive and want for more, but also be really happy and satisfied and already experiencing the joy that you want with what you have right now? You have to make that choice and recognize that. What is joy? What is happiness? What is success for you? And if you want to chat about it, I am open in my DMs on Instagram. Send me a message if this resonated. I would love to hear from you. I do sometimes feel like I'm sitting behind this microphone and I know that you're inviting me into your earbuds, into your kitchen, into your car, wherever you're listening to me right now. And that's amazing, but it's very one way for me. So yeah, if you could take the time to send me a message and let me know that you heard this and that this hit the spot and what it brought up for you, I would be happy to chat about that further on Instagram in the DMs, which is what I use Instagram for. Talking to people, not posting and trying to find new people, like building on the relationships that we have. And if you're listening to my podcast, we have a relationship and I want to be part of it. So reach out, connect, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.